Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So I do apologize that this video is so delayed, but this is my week uh 4 results. Yeah, week 4 results for the CDL Major 2 qualifiers. This is all 3 days, so I'm going to hit the highlights at the beginning in case you don't want to stay for the whole thing. I do understand, but it was quite a weekend. Quite a weekend. Let's go ahead and switch over. We're going to start by looking at the current standings. And so these are the current standings at the moment. Optic is still undefeated in the Major 2 qualifiers. The LA Thieves are right behind them with 4-3. And tied with them is the Riyadh Falcons, the Miami Heretics, the G2 Minnesota, and Toronto Koi. Well, Toronto Koi's had 4 wins, 4 losses, so yeah, it's not the best for them, but they are. But I tell you, the surprising thing, the Gentlemates have fallen to 7th place with 3 wins, 4 losses, and they have lost to teams that you wouldn't think they would. You honestly really not would think they wouldn't lose to some of these teams that they are losing to. But then the Ravens are sitting at the same standings, 3-4. Vancouver is sitting at 3-4. I mean, I'm shocked to see the Gentlemates in with this bunch. I mean, we've come to expect for the Ravens to be right here, but not the Gentlemates. I am shocked at this. But then you got FaZe, Boston, and Cloud9. It's really, really amazing how far some of these teams have sank. So let's see. Kicking the weekend off, you had Vancouver against Cloud9. They went 3-1 against Cloud9. I was kind of expecting that. I really was. I was expecting Vancouver to win. Then you had Thieves against FaZe Vegas. That was a close battle. A really, really close battle. But then the Miami Heretics 3-0'd G2. But then G2 came back and 3-0'd Paris Gentlemates. It was a shocking weekend. I mean, I did not expect for G2 to 3-0 the Gentlemates. That was quite a shocking turn of events there. Then Optic 3-0'd FaZe Vegas. No big shocker there. Optic is the best team in the league, so yeah, that is no shocker. But then you had the Falcons against Koi. Again, 3-0. So 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. I mean, it was a quick succession of 3-0s. Then the you had Boston Breach against Cloud9, 3-1. No shocker there, because let's just say that new Cloud9 team, while they have showed potential, they are not the best team in the league. So it's not a big shocker there. But then you had Koi against Boston Breach, and they 3-0'd them. But then one of the most exciting matches that I was the most pumped for this weekend was Optic Texas against the Carolina Royal Ravens, because they are my 2 favorite teams. And they went Optic went 3-1 against the Ravens. It was a very interesting match to watch. I'm gonna go ahead and pull these match details up, because it was a close race. I'm not gonna say it was completely close, but it was a close race. The Blackheart Hardpoint, the Ravens won 250 to 233. The Den Search and Destroy 6-4. The Den Overload 5-2. Colossus Hardpoint 250 to 192. It was a close race, but it wasn't a close race, if that makes any sense. It was good. It was really good. I mean, probably my favorite. Good. Probably my favorite match of the weekend. I mean, it has to be my favorite match of the weekend. But Vancouver Surge against the Gentlemates. Vancouver Surge beat the Gentlemates 3-1. Let's take a look at that. In case you don't stick around for anything else, look at this. Scar Hardpoint 250 to 214. Colossus Search and Destroy 6-3. Scar Overload 3-2. Den Hardpoint 250 to 134. It was a really interesting matchup. I really would have thought that the Gentlemates would have won that, but I just can't predict this anymore. I mean, you really can't predict it anymore. But now we're going to dive in more detailed. So if you want to dip out of the video, I understand. It's fixing to get into a lot of deep territory. So we're going to start off with the first match for this weekend. Oh, good. Yeah. Vancouver Surge against Cloud9. I'm tired. Quite tired. Scar Hardpoint 250 to 203. Den Search and Destroy 6-1. Scar Overload 3-2. Den Hardpoint 250 to 122. It was just really, really interesting seeing these two teams go up against each other. At first, it looked like they were pretty closely matched, but in the end, it was not even close. Surge is better than Cloud9. I mean, definitely better than Cloud9. But then, Thieves against FaZe Vegas. This was a close match. This first one, the Den Hardpoint, 250 to 243. The Den Search and Destroy, 6-4. Scar Overload, 6-3. The Blackheart Hardpoint, 250 to 164. Then the Scar Search and Destroy, 6-1. I mean, it was the last two matches at the Thieves they bombed. They just fell totally off the wagon. There was nothing they could do to stop the FaZe Vegas from taking over. I mean, there was just nothing they could do at all. It was an absolute slaughter. An absolute slaughter. Then you had Heretics against G2, and I mean, this was a very, very close matchup. 250 to 224 in the Scar Hardpoint, 6-5 in the Raid Search and Destroy, 6-3 in the Scar Overload. I mean, this was a really, really, really close match. I mean, it couldn't have got any closer than it got. I honestly thought G2 was going to have this Scar Hardpoint. It would not go their way. It would not go their way. But then, G2 against the Paris Gentlemates. Scar Hardpoint 250 to 240. The Raid Search and Destroy 6-3. Exposure Overload 5-2. I mean, the first one was close, but the other two not even close. The gentlemates are falling off, and I don't know why. The major 2 qualifiers just are not looking good for the Paris gentlemates. I hope that they improve and get better again, because I would love to see them go to Major 2 and see what they can do. Of course, I want Optic to win it, but I would love to see what they're able to do in the Major 2 tournament. But if they keep at the pace they're going, they ain't going to go to the Major 2 tournament. But then, Optic Texas against FaZe Vegas. 250 to 190, 6 to 1. I mean, Scar Hard Point, then 6 to 1 in the Scar in the Den Search and Destroy, 5 to 3 in the Scar Overload. I mean, it's just, it wasn't even close at all. I mean, at all. It was a very one-sided race. Then, Riyadh Falcons against Toronto Koi. 250 to 160 in the Blackheart Hard Point, 6 to 5 in the Raid Search and Destroy, 7 to 2 in the Exposure Overload. So the Search and Destroy was the only one where it was even close. The only one. The other 2, it was, again, just not even close at all. And then there's a lot to go over. The Boston Breach against Cloud9, 3 to 1. 250 to 176, 6 to 2, 3 to 2, 250 to 156. I mean, they had the Scar Overload, but the other matches just not even close. I mean, at all. Boston had a severe lead in these other matches. And then Heretics against the Thieves. I don't know. It's just 250 to 195, 6 to 5. That one was close. But then 2 to 1 and the Scar Overload, which was shocking that they won by only 1 goal. 250 to 184 in the Exposure Hard Point. But then the Exposure Search and Destroy, 6 to 2. I mean, it was a really, really interesting match. I couldn't call it. But then Toronto Koi versus Boston Breach, 3-0. A 3-0. 250 to 144, 6 to 3, 8 to 0 in the Den Overload. I mean, nothing even close there as far as skill goes. I don't know. I don't know what happened there, but whew, if I was Boston, I'd be mad. And we already went over these at the beginning, but yeah, it was a very interesting weekend. And so Friday, we are kicking off the weekend with Toronto Koi versus Cloud9, the Riyadh Falcons versus Miami Heretics, and for the first time since the Major 1 tournament, the Paris Gentlemates against Optic Texas. I'm very excited to see that one. That's going to be an interesting one. Very, very interesting. I've got a feeling there's going to be some revenge to be had in this matchup. I got a big feeling that there's going to be revenge to be had, but I think that's going to be everything I got. I apologize for the tardiness of this video. It's very delayed, but I did get it out, which I had said last weekend that the videos for this weekend would be very delayed. I apologize for that fact, but I can't help my work schedule. Is what it is. Unfortunately, this is not my primary job, streaming and making videos. I wish it was. It's very fun, but I hope you have a great day. Catch you in the next video.